So, hey guys, it's KMCers. I'm Kirsten and welcome back to another spooky Saturday. Now today we're going to be talking about a interesting case about Christopher Mark Jenkins. Let's just jump right into it. So, Christopher Mark Jenkins, born on February 17th of 1981, he was 21 years old, and this happened in Minneapolis, Minnesota. His parents, Steve and Jane, and he did have a sister named Sarah. He also did have a girlfriend at the time. She has no name. He was described as he was smart, he had a sense of humor, he was a business student at the University of Minnesota. He was the captain of the lacrosse team, and he did grow up in Eden Prairie, Minnesota. Now, let's talk about the incident that occurred. On the night of October 31st of 2002, he dressed as a Native American, and him and his girlfriend with another couple went to a Halloween party at the Lone Tree Barn Grill. Around midnight, he was kicked out of the bar, and he did leave behind his phone, his wallet, his jacket, everything. The bouncer said that he left and turned left on Hennepin Avenue, and that was the last time anybody had ever seen him. Let's talk about the investigation that occurred. He was the first of several young male college students to vanish in the upper Midwest. On November 6th of 2002, a 22-year-old University of Wisconsin student, Michael Knoll, vanished after celebrating his birthday at a bar in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. On November 9th that same year, a 20-year-old Josh Gumont disappeared after leaving a small party at an apartment in Collegeville, Minnesota. All three vanished in a 100-mile radius of Minneapolis. They were all white males that were around the same age, height, weight, everything. They all vanished from visiting a bar or a party and very much drinking involved. And they were all last drinking and last seen near water. The theory is that there was a serial killer trying to target young males along the Mississippi River. On February 27th of 2003, Chris's body was found in the Mississippi River between 3rd Avenue Bridge and St. Anthony Falls. It was stuck in between some logs. On March 25th of 2003, Michael's body was found in a lake. Both were found not far from where they were last seen. FBI and investigators ruled out a connection between their deaths and Josh's disappearance, and an autopsy determined that Chris did drown and that his alcohol level was above the legal limit. But his manner of death is unknown. Police believe that his death was either an accident or suicide. Police believe that he was drunk and that he either accidentally fell or jumped into the river off of the Hennepin Avenue Bridge, because he did get into a fight with his girlfriend that night, and it was one of the reasons why he got kicked out of the bar. In 2004, the case ended up getting closed, but Chris's parents still believe that he was murdered. That they ended up hiring a private investigator, and that private investigator said that Chris's injuries of what you expected if he had fell from a high bridge was not consistent of what was shown. Like, they just don't match. So his parents discovered discrepancies, suggesting that the body wasn't in the river the whole entire time that he was missing. They claim that the police did not handle this case very well. The initial investigators didn't interview the people at the bar and didn't treat the location of where his body was found as a crime scene. In a retired investigator looked into the drowning and found that his body position and the physical evidence indicated that he did not drown from an accident. In 2005, police received a tip into Chris's death. They questioned a man that was incarcerated for unrelated charges, and that man said that him and another man did come across Chris on the Hennepin Avenue Bridge pedestrian walkway that night. He said that Chris was an easy target to be mugged as he was drunk, and his friend got really angry because Chris did not have anything of value on him, because he did leave his wallet, his phone, his cash, his money, whatever, at the bar, and so he didn't have anything on him, and because of that, his friend flung Chris over the edge and threw him into the Mississippi River. In November 2006, police reclassified his death as a homicide. In 2007, a suspect was identified and given to the county attorney, but the county attorney decided that there was not enough evidence to fully charge these people. So Jeremy Lynn Alfred was reported at the same bar as Chris that night, but Alfred was serving time in prison for killing Douglas Miller in 2005, and he refuses to talk about Chris's case. Another man also went to the same bar a few months before Chris did. He was drinking, he got very sick and ended up losing consciousness, and a man went to go put him in his car, and he was actually saved by his friend that ended up taking him to the hospital, and he got tested, and they found that he had high levels of GHB in his system. It was theorized that that could have happened to Chris as well. Chris's family doesn't believe that he was just thrown into the river, because his shirt was still tucked in, his costume was still intact, he had slip-on shoes that were still on him, and that his arms were crossed. A retired investigator believed that Chris's death is linked to drowning deaths of at least 40 men, mostly college students in 11 different states. There was a smiley face that was painted right around where they found Chris, and that is believed to be the killer's signature. The believed victims are drugged and then dumped into the river. FBI still believe that the deaths was accidental. So there's not a trial because they never did find who did this, but there was some things that happened in the aftermath of this case. So Unsolved Mysteries released a 3-part series in 2022 on this case. Dateline also did a episode in 2010. Rhode Island Police Detective Derek, and forensic pathologist Chris Mahondy, they specialize in cold cases, and they did a episode on breaking homicide on this case. The Trail Went Cold podcast did also make this case known. Jan, Chris's mom, wrote a book called Fingerprints of Courage. Michael Knowles' death was ruled to have no foul play involved, and Josh Gumond has never been found and is still missing today. And Chris's murder still remains unsolved to this day. So I'm going to leave it here with some videos or photos of Chris and his life, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.